I refer to it as breaking out of a sales slump. In other words, learning to direct your energy and actually get as many of the right things done as possible in the shortest amount of time. But the secret is to do the right things. Because if I help you to become efficient and get a lot of stuff done in a very short space of time, but you're doing the wrong stuff, you're just becoming very efficient at doing the wrong stuff. So, crucial. As we go through the process, I want you to already start thinking, already start asking your brain those questions. Because remember, what does your brain ultimately do? When I ask the questions, your brain's already starting to search for the answers. So I'm asking that question right now. If you had to look at your perfect day, what would you be doing? What would the things that, if you did them consistently every single day, what would those things be that would help you to smash your sales target? Because yes, of course, we want to build relationships with customers. Yes, of course, we want to get out there and we want to sell value. Yes, of course, we want to get out there and help our customers. Absolutely, all important. But ultimately, what is our final role? Our final role is how many sales do we close, not transactionally, but relationally. In other words, where we get people to actually want to refer us. How many of you are getting referrals? Consistently. But are we waiting for those referrals? In other words, let's hope and pray that if we've really done a good job, somebody is actually going to refer us by accident. Or is it an active strategy that we're going out there and we're asking for those referrals? The numbers, think about this. Research shows. And you know that 69.83% of all statistics are made up, but not this one. 1 in 17 people will refer you because you were really good and they liked you. 2 out of 3 people will refer you because you asked properly. And we're going to learn how to do that. So I'm going to teach you how to ask for referrals, because it's a strategy. Every single customer that I work with, I ask for a referral. Including you. So stand by. Okay, so referrals is a crucial part of your business. But how do we get referrals? We only get referrals from happy customers, right? So if you've got a whole lot of really unhappy customers, you ain't going to get referrals. I don't care if you ask. The person's probably going to kick your butt out the office if you ask for a referral. So when do you ask for a referral? When somebody's really happy and satisfied. How do you do that? Well, that's one of the things we're going to look at doing today. It's a thing I call adding value. So we got to go the extra mile. You can't just show up at your customer, shoot the breeze, because we're good at that, aren't we? You know, we can flap that. I mean, we're good. That's why we're in this business, eh? We can flap that tongue. But how are we adding meaningful value? And it's simple things. It's not huge. You know, a youngster the other day, I mean, they surprise me sometimes. And I mean, I'm not saying that, I'm not being ugly. What I'm saying is this was such a brilliant idea coming from such a young mind. Do you know what he does? And it's so simple. He gets a business card from a new prospect, walks out to his car after that first meeting, and he sends them an SMS from his car saying, "Thank you so much for meeting with me. I really appreciate your time." Does that stand out? Think about it. That is, how big is that? It's the smallest little thing, but what impression has he left on that person? Think about it. He's seen 2 people that day from two competitors. One sends him an SMS from the car, "Thank you for your time." What's happened already? Where's the value? You see, little things like handwritten thank you notes. When somebody signs up, send a handwritten thank you note with a box of chocolates. You know what I'm saying? Or even more importantly, with a book. A book where you've actually looked around their office and you went, this person plays tennis. And you give them a book on tennis. Or you give them, maybe they've just been promoted into a leadership position, give them a book on leadership. Or maybe you heard in the conversation, I'm struggling to get through my day. You give them Stephen Covey's seven Habits of Highly Successful People. You understand? They're thoughtful gifts, not just, here it's Christmas time, here's a bottle of wine. I mean, I remember I used to own a factory. And come December, I would have this table. I didn't drink, I don't, and never have drunk alcohol. Guess how thoughtful they were. I got bottles of wine, I got bottles of whiskey. Do you know how many of those people I remembered who it was? I used to get it in, I didn't even know who it was, and I'd call the guys from the factory and they would pile the stuff out my office. Really meaningful ways of building value with me, wasn't it? But that's what you do at Christmas, isn't it? You arrive with a bottle of whiskey. It's what you do. But if they had have just maybe asked the question, if they had have just maybe really intended to add meaningful value, it would have been a very, very different situation. So think about adding value. Adding value is not about arriving there with a Maserati. Adding value is about being creative. Interesting thing about being creative. 80% of children under the age of 2 test out as creative. By the age of 5, that number's dropped to 50%. By the age of 10, we have beaten our children into submission to such a degree that only 2% of children at the age of 10 are creative. And it remains like that for the rest of our lives. So the question I want to ask yourself is, are you creative? And I'm not talking about can you go out and do a Rembrandt or write poetry. I'm talking about, are you creative that you can go out and stand out in the marketplace? That you can be different in the marketplace? Because being different is adding value. Standing out, may I say being outstanding? Is that the same as standing out? Being outstanding is what is ultimately going to separate you from the competition. Are you differentiating yourself, or are you just going out and being one of the